In this video, I'm going to explain how you can create images that will facilitate this kind of workflow in RightBooth. And the workflow is that the user chooses a scene that they want to be in. RightBooth then takes the photograph. It uses artificial intelligence background removal to remove the background from the user's image. And then it places the user inside the scene. Now, the way that it does that is that you have to have pairs of images that will allow this to happen. So if I just move this image off the top here, you can see that I've got a transparent image of the bars of the jail. I've got the user that's had its background removed from the photograph, and we have the original background that's been chosen by the user. So you have to have pairs of images that match. So if I put this back over the top, you can see that it gives the effect that the user is inside the jail cell. Now, if I just take a look at this folder here, which is inside the RightBooth media library, you get 3 sets of images with the media library when you install RightBooth. We've got a car, and we've also got the car front. Now you can see we've got car.jpg, which is the background image, the whole background image. We have a car.png, which has got a matching file name, except that it's a PNG file with some transparent areas on it. So there are pairs of images basically. We've got a cockpit and a cockpit PNG, which just has the seat backs. And obviously we've got the jail cell as well. So if I was just to change this here, let's just take this one. To say this one, and change this one for this one. You can see how it's possible for the user to move around in the view to get himself positioned. Probably not a great example, that one. Let's try another one. Let's try the car and the front of the car. So we can put the user here, and we can put the front over the top. So you get the idea. So the question is, how do you create these pairs of images? And in this video, I'm going to show you how. Okay, for this example, I'm going to create another pair of car images. This time I'll try a sports car. So what I did was I signed up for Grok, which is available at grok.com. And it's a chatbot basically. It's free to use and it's pretty good. I mean, there's plenty to choose from, but I decided to use Grok. And it can create images, so you have to provide a description. So I'm going to try this now. Create an image of a red sports car shown from the front, looking over the bonnet into the car and showing the rear window and the road beyond. Let's see what that comes up with. Let's have a look. Right, they're all pretty good actually. Now I'm looking at them with a view to thinking, how can users position themselves in here? There's not a lot of windscreen on that one. That one's possibly better. That's probably the best one in terms of an area where somebody could actually be seen to sit inside the image. Let me just repeat. Let's get some more. Right, I'll probably pick this one, I think. That's probably a nice one. So I'm going to click this one. And it doesn't look exactly like a sports car, but it's probably good enough just for the example here. You can play around with Grok as much as you like until you get it exactly like you want. So I'm going to save this image. So click the Save button, right click, save the image as, and I'm going to put it into my pictures library, call it sportscar.jpg. Now the next step is to edit this image. Let me just go back to the images that are shipped in the RightBooth media library, and if I just hover over one, you can see its size is 1280 by 720. So all these are 1280 by 720. And the reason I've set them at that size is because it's a common size when taking photographs with a webcam. So you can set the webcam up to be 1280 by 720, or you can set your DSLR up to be that size as well. But in essence, what you need to do is to make sure that these images that you generate are the same size as the images that you are going to take with the camera, so the photographs that you're going to take. It's not exactly essential, but really you want to be making them ideally the same aspect ratio, let's say. But I'm going to keep them at 1280 by 720 for this example. So what I need to do is edit the image that's just been generated in Grok and make that 1280 by 720. Now the way I do that is using a package called GIMP, and I've spoken about this before on other videos, so I won't explain too much about GIMP, but it's a free photo editing tool. So I'm going to open the sports car image, which I've just saved. That's here. So as you can see, Grok generates images that are 1024 by 768, which again is another common webcam size actually. But I'm going to edit this now. So what I want to do first of all is scale this image up to 1280. So I'm going to hit Image, Scale Image, put this to 1280, and it'll end up being 1280 by 960, which is okay. So I'll just rescale the image. So we're now at 1280 by 960. The next thing to do is to take this select tool, and I'm going to take a 720 chunk of this. So I want to change the height of this selection, as you can see down at the bottom here. I don't know if you saw that, but it was 720 high. So that's quite good actually, because it's removing quite a bit of this unnecessary bombing. So I'm going to go Image, Crop to Selection. So we now have 1280 by 720, and we've got quite a nice area in here in which to put some transparency for the person to position themselves in. So I'm going to save that, overwrite the original. Let's increase the quality a little bit. Right. The next thing I want to do is to generate the overlay image. Now the overlay image in this example is everything in here apart from the inside of the car. Okay, so I need to cut all this out so that it becomes transparent. I'm going to use the free select tool. Now let's just zoom in a little bit to 200. So I'll start here, and I'm just going to go around very quickly. I'm not going to be too accurate about this. You can be far more accurate than me. So let's just go down here, around the rear view mirror. I mean, this is not that accurate, but don't worry, this is just for demonstration purposes. Let's move across, right down here. If I zoom back out, I can go out of the edge down to here and then back in again. And I want to go up over the steering wheel because that's in front of the user. So this will be part of the foreground image over the top of the steering wheel. And then over the top of the wipers. And then back out off the edge, and then back in up the side of here. And when we get back to the beginning, it should form an enclosed selection area. There we go. Let's just put this back to say 100. So you can see I've selected this area here. I'm just going to make it transparent. Probably the easiest way to do that, if I press the delete key now on the keyboard, it will remove that area. And there you go. Let's just make this 66%. You can see now that that area is transparent. So remove the selection. Now I need to save this image, so let me do this. I'm going to export as sportscar.png. So this gives me an equivalent image as a transparent PNG file. So it's exactly the same size as the sportscar.jpg, and it's the same image, but part of it is transparent. So let me just export that. So let's have a look at the images. In the pictures folder, we have got two images here, sports car and sports car PNG, JPEG, PNG. So what I'm going to do now is select them both, right click, cut, and I'm going to move them into the front and back folder in the backgrounds library in RightBooth library. So let me just paste them into here, and there they are. So let's just quickly take a look at how these will be used in RightBooth. Back into here just to show you an example of what will happen. So we can change that image for this new one that I've created and the accompanying overlay image, and we can position the user somewhere in that and place the transparent image over the top, so you can get the idea. So that's how to create pairs of images that can be used with the AI background removal feature to allow users to be placed into the scenes.